According to popular belief, the moon is often regarded as a melancholic and diminutive celestial companion of Earth, lacking any signs of life and characterized by unattractive impact craters and precious lunar resources. Hello and welcome everyone. This is KYC News. In this episode we discuss about the moon. Stay with us. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. As humans took their first steps on the moon, it became a source of inspiration for those who studied, wrote about, and longed to witness it firsthand. Since those early days of knowing very little about the moon, scientists have made significant progress in uncovering its many mysteries. As we embark on our journey through the wonders of the moon, we invite you to join us on this fascinating exploration. From the peculiar to the extraordinary, we'll be delving into all the incredible phenomena we've encountered during our lunar studies. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed by the strange and wondrous sights of the moon. The title of the story is Slime of the Moon. For many years, the moon has captivated the attention of people, leading to a continuous stream of missions and probes exploring the surface of Earth's luminous satellite. As part of China's Chang'e 4 mission, the arrival of the rover Yutu-2 on the moon marked a significant discovery. It is worth noting that Yutu-2 was deployed as a follow-up to the initial Yutu rover. As the rover traversed the surface of the moon, its camera captured a series of breathtaking photographs, showcasing the stunning terrain. As the mission crew reviewed photographs from the rover's primary camera, a member named Yu Tianyi stumbled upon something quite unusual. Upon initial observation, the photographs seemed to display numerous minuscule craters. However, upon further examination, it became apparent that certain craters possessed peculiar dimensions and forms, as well as an unusual luster. The substance they uncovered was described as having a gel-like consistency. According to scientists, the substance that was found could potentially be impact melt glass resulting from a meteorite collision that has become embedded within the crater. Some speculate that the substance could be volcanic glass resulting from a past volcanic eruption, a material that has been found on the moon before. The moon seems to be garnering more attention than anticipated. The rover's visible and near-infrared spectrometer was utilized to further examine the substance and crater. It was able to detect scattered and reflected light. As the story unfolds, it is revealed that while the discovery is indeed remarkable, additional investigation is currently underway to ascertain the identity and source of this substance. For now, the moon gel remains a mystery, as the user ponders its properties. As the night sky grew darker, there were strange flashes of light that illuminated the surroundings. On the surface of the moon, brief flashes of light are frequently observed by scientists, leaving them to speculate about their origin. A novel idea has been proposed by a group of German scientists that could potentially provide crucial information for a future lunar outpost. According to Håkan Kahl, a professor of space technology at Julius Maximilians Universität, JMU, in Würzburg, Germany, seismic activity has been observed on the moon. As the surface of the moon undergoes alterations, it is possible for gases that reflect sunlight to be released from its core. This accounted for the long-lasting bright occurrences. In the 1950s, unusual lights were observed, however, they were largely ignored by the scientific community. Meanwhile, the JMU team aims to change this situation with their recently constructed lunar telescope in southern Spain. The telescope has already commenced scanning the night sky. A twin-camera configuration is present that has the ability to detect any unusual light flashes. If the same flash is observed by both, a sequence of images and films is captured. The new telescope's software, however, is still in need of some improvement. Kahl and his colleagues have set their sights on enhancing the system by implementing a neural network that possesses the ability to sift through erroneous positives, such as birds and airplanes. The understanding of the phenomena could prove to be crucial for the safety of the human residents on the moon. Kahl continued, stating that anyone who desires to establish a lunar outpost must be knowledgeable about the surrounding conditions. The scene was set for a lunar explosion. Do you recall the identity of the final individuals to step onto the lunar surface after the initial historic landing? As the Apollo 17 mission approached the moon's surface, Harrison Schmitt, a geologist, prepared to make history by becoming the first of his kind to set foot on the lunar terrain. Meanwhile, his fellow astronaut and team member, Eugene Cernan, was a seasoned fighter jet pilot and astronaut, embodying the classic image of a space explorer. For quite some time, the scientific community had been advocating for the dispatch of a geologist to the moon, with the aim of studying the geographical structure of the celestial body. On his sole expedition to the moon, Schmidt's findings proved to be far from underwhelming. Among his discoveries was the presence of orange soil on the lunar terrain. As Schmitt made his way towards the Taurus-Littrow Valley on the eastern border of Mare Serenitatis during the Apollo 17 mission, he casually scuffed the ground with his boot. To his surprise, he stumbled upon an intriguing find. With great enthusiasm, he took numerous shots, but unfortunately, the majority of them turned out blurry. However, his companion, Eugene Cernan, who was famously referred to as Mr. Steady Hands, was able to capture a sharper image. Their crewmate, Ron Evans, also documented Schmidt's discovery from his orbiting spacecraft. Afterward, Schmitt declared that the orange dirt didn't have the same vividness in photographs as it did when they first laid eyes on it. The objective of the Apollo 17 mission was clear-cut: to gather specimens of ancient materials from the hilly regions of the moon and investigate for indications of recent volcanic activity in adjacent valleys. The images gathered during the voyage suggested the possibility of volcanic activity occurring on Earth's moon. Further investigation was conducted on the Shorty crater to determine the presence of a volcanic vent in the vicinity. As the explorers made their way along the rim of the crater, they stumbled upon additional amounts of organic orange dirt. This discovery was accompanied by further evidence that suggested the crater was formed as a result of a powerful volcanic eruption. Through the use of a microscope, scientists were able to determine that the orange dirt collected during the Apollo 17 mission was in fact volcanic glass. In the samples, there existed black particles which were later recognized as ilmenite, a mineral composed of titanium and iron oxides. Upon conducting additional tests, it was discovered that the orange dirt was of a comparable age. The object was assessed to be 3.64 billion years old. This indicates that it originated from an ancient explosion that exposed molten material located 400 kilometers beneath the moon's surface. The eruptions that have occurred not only uncovered essential enigmas about the creation of the Earth and Moon, but they have also generated a remarkable display to witness. Harrison Schmitt remarks that he has never mentioned the beauty of the Taurus-Littrow Valley. The depth of this place surpasses that of the Grand Canyon. Beautifully, the sun shines upon them. As they arrived, the mountains stood tall against a sky that was darker than dark. The Earth always hovers over the southwestern peak known as South Massif. The site is undoubtedly a remarkable place to be, and one can only hope for the chance to revisit it in the near future. As the individual approached the edge of the water, they took a deep breath and prepared themselves for what was to come. According to popular belief, the moon is often regarded as a melancholic and diminutive celestial companion of Earth, lacking any signs of life and characterized by unattractive impact craters and precious lunar resources. Down on Earth, we are trying to safeguard something that the moon possesses: water. Strangely enough, the water found on the moon appears to be quite enthusiastic. In 2009, frozen water on the moon was discovered by NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO. The frozen water on the moon holds great importance, not only as a reserve of drinkable water for astronauts but also as a source of fuel for rockets that return to Earth. New maps have been created by Lyman Alpha Mapping. On NASA's platform, there exists a project called LAMP Project, LAMP. As per the findings of the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO, water molecules that are frozen as ice on the lunar surface exhibit a peculiar behavior during the day. They tend to hop as they experience warming and cooling effects due to the sun's influence. The atmosphere of the moon is quite sensitive, and as its daylight cycle lasts for a month, the ice on its surface tends to heat up and melt around midday. As the ice begins to melt, it rises up into the air and begins to dance. The process will persist until the water encounters a colder section of the moon. Due to the moon's low gravity, the water gently descends back to the surface. As a result of this discovery, scientists have come to believe that the temperatures on the moon could potentially be lower than those on Pluto. At higher latitudes of the moon, water is routinely discovered, and it is more abundant than previously believed, frequently bouncing around. The mechanism in question bears resemblance to the water cycle on the moon. The technique for determining the usefulness of lunar water in future moon expeditions is currently being examined by scientists. On the moon, there were spies. More than 50 years ago, the first steps on the moon were taken by NASA astronauts, marking a historic moment for the entire human species. However, the success of these theories is often questioned by those who believe in them. Even more intriguingly, there exists a conspiracy theory that suggests the moon may actually be an extraterrestrial facility utilized for the purpose of spying on humanity. As per the conspiracy theory, it is believed that astronaut Neil Armstrong delivered a more daring speech during the Apollo 11 mission in 1969 than his famous quote, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." As the story goes, upon the arrival of Apollo 11 on the moon's surface, Armstrong was taken aback to find two unfamiliar spacecraft already present on the lunar terrain. As per Armstrong's account, colossal UFOs were positioned in a row along the outer rim of the crater, intently observing the planet. As per NASA's report, it was found that the signal of Apollo 11 was lost for around 2 minutes, which led to the formation of the hypothesis. Did Armstrong observe any extraterrestrial beings during those 2 minutes? The scene is set with a focus on the color red. The mention of a blood moon may evoke thoughts of mythological tales or its significance as described in the Bible. At first glance, the sight may seem frightening, but it is merely a harmless prank involving a light. When the Earth's moon is fully eclipsed by the sun, it transforms into a blood moon or red moon, causing its typically pale appearance to turn into a deep crimson or muddy brown hue. Viewing a red moon can be a challenging task, particularly if the surrounding environment is heavily polluted or covered in clouds. One may ponder upon the events of the past when individuals who were not informed about the eclipse witnessed a magnificent crimson moon in the heavens. Several ancient societies dreaded the crimson moon. On a faraway island in what is now Jamaica, Christopher Columbus and his crew found themselves shipwrecked. The Arawak tribe, initially amiable, underwent a transformation as Columbus' crew commenced looting and murdering their people. Understandably, their emotions turned to anger. As Columbus observed the crew's lack of cooperation and growing hostility, he realized that it could potentially result in their starvation. Fortunately, he had an almanac in his possession and was able to determine the exact timing of the upcoming lunar eclipse. The tribe was informed that God was displeased with the crew's lack of food and that the moon would turn crimson as a symbol of his wrath. The tribe likely believed the gods to be irrational for aligning with Columbus. However, their conviction wavered upon witnessing the moon's authentic transformation into a crimson hue. This is all for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell.